Are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome and hello. Welcome to Tabletop Blacksmith. We have on this evening an Elvis tribute artist, Travis Hudson, who is a local to the San Antonio, Texas area,
That's right.
and we know each other from church. We go to the same religious organization, and I thought that what he was doing was super impressive. He's won multiple awards for his performance, and so I guess I just wanted to start out with saying, why don't you go ahead and just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. First of all, thank you for having me on here, Ben. Such a pleasure. Like Ben said, my name is Travis Hudson, and I am originally from Guatemala, believe it or not. And some things people don't know about me is that my first language is Spanish.
Oh, right.
But I've been in Texas way too long to people to even figure that out. So,
Just the right amount of time
yes,
to be able to acclimate to the Texan.
yes, that's right. That's right. Um, pretty much grew up in Corpus Christi, Texas, but now I've been in San Antonio for about 17, 18 years now.
Wow.
Be 36 in a couple months. Got a family, got a little one on the way in about, less than a month now.
Oh my gosh.
Two boys. And they keep telling me that you don't know what it is to raise a boy until you have two of them.
Yeah, I have now three boys,
Wow.
and it's crazy because I mean, like wrestling with the kids. When it was just me against one, my oldest, who's my son, he, I didn't feel threatened by him. He's a small human being, and I could take him. But now that there are four of these, just like I can at most keep my attention on two of them, while two are sneaking around and who knows what. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Well, raising two boys is going to be an adventure.
Yeah.
Sir.
Should be fun though. Well, I'm excited. So we're still debating on the names for him, but we'll get one decided soon.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's an electioneering process for
Yes.
us.
A lot of names have gone through, and a lot of them have said, and she told me no. So that's all right.
Oh
But
no, Natalie, how does she feel about having two boys?
she definitely says she's outnumbered. 'Cause we got a dog named Presley, which is a
yeah,
boy.
yeah.
So
Classic.
now we have three boys going on four because she says I'm a kid herself. So
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's like minimal supervision on you as a child,
yeah,
but there is still some supervision there. I can understand that.
yeah. So she says if you ain't grown up by the time you're 30 years old, you're never gonna grow up. So I think that's true. I have a lot there.
Well, at least she knows what she's in for.
Yes, yes.
Now, how long have you both been married?
That's a good question. We're going on 8 years.
Sorry.
Going on 8 years.
Just
So.
didn't mean to test you there. Natalie, if you're watching, he knew. He was just building up the suspense.
Yes, and May has now become a very busy month. We have Mother's Day, which is in May.
Yeah.
Our first son is born on Cinco de Mayo, which is May 5th. And then
Fantastic.
our anniversary is May 28th. And if this baby's born on May 31st, then we have another one in May. And if he's born earlier, and if he's born on our anniversary, then our anniversary we can kiss that goodbye the rest of our lives. So,
Yeah, exactly.
at least the next 18 years.
Sorry, you're not having a birthday this year because we are. No, that's probably never going to happen. Well, that's good. You can get everything out of the way at once. I don't know if you watched The Office, but Michael Scott tried to do that one time, and it just did not work out well for them.
Becomes a very expensive month.
Oh my goodness!
Someone's going to get shafted. So that's just the way it happens.
In my experience, it's usually the parents.
Yes.
So
Roll
they.
the dice. So, but yeah.
Well, excellent. So growing up, what was it that drew you to Elvis? I know that it was from a very young age. I found pictures or videos as early as when you were 14.
Yes, yes. So I was 14 years old, and I was watching TV in the living room in Corpus Christi, Texas. And I saw this guy on TV, and I saw the way he was dancing, the way he was singing, and the way he looked. And I was like, Mom, who's that guy? And he'd say, well, that's Elvis. I'm like, wow, I want to be him. Little did I know who he was and what he has accomplished and what he has accomplished. I was like, okay. So I asked my mom, I said, hey, can you make me a jumpsuit? And she just looks at me like I'm crazy. Here I am, 14 years old, and I'm in high school. And she's like, what do you want a jumpsuit for? I'm like, well, I want to wear it and go to, wear it to school. No apparent reason, really.
Right.
So because my mother, she loved me so much, we went to a Hobby Lobby, looked for a pattern, and then we found little rhinestones, the glue-on kind.
Oh my goodness.
And we had to hand glue every single one of them. When I say we, she did that.
It's like a royal we.
Yes, yes. And so we found a guy that supposedly did some Elvis hair. He got my hair all poofed up. And when I mean poofy, it was poofy. It wasn't anything like the correct way.
Right.
So I woke up the next day. Well, after a couple weeks after she finished making the jumpsuit, she made even the cape as well, which I currently still have both items. I went to school, and I started walking the halls, and teachers and students started coming out and wondering, who is this guy? What is he doing? And I thought it was the coolest thing. So, and then on to that, this teacher comes up to me, and he has a DECA club, which I think still happens these days. And he asked, "Hey, would you sing for before our competition starts?"
Oh my goodness.
I'm like, well, I don't even sing Elvis songs. I just wanted to dress like him. I sang. I was in choir and all that, but I didn't sing Elvis songs. So I had to go home and say, I got asked to sing Elvis songs, and I don't know any, and I got to learn them by Saturday. So
easy peasy.
Yes.
Was this like a Monday? It was like the start of the week?
Yeah, start of the week.
Oh, man.
And had to go to the actual music store and actually look for music and buy the records instead of downloading.
This would have been, what, early 2000s or late 90s?
Or late, let's see, I graduated in 2002.
Okay,
so I was 18, so
it would have been
1998. I'm dating myself here right now, so
that's fine.
Yeah,
that's perfectly fine.
But so we went to the music store, and I found a karaoke CD of Elvis, and the two songs that I learned was "All Shook Up" and "Teddy Bear."
Nice.
So then we had to go to Walmart and go buy me a little cheapy karaoke machine with a little cheapy microphone, nothing like this fancy one here.
Oh yeah, of course.
And a little 6-foot cable, and had to go to the auditorium. And I thought, actually, I take that back. After going there, I thought I was going to be singing maybe from 25, 30 people. I didn't realize what that DECA was, how big it was. So my dad takes me there, and we get on a stage, and I'm like, what am I doing? And in the end, it was in front of 400 students and teachers.
Wow.
And there I am shaking, not because of Elvis's moves, but shaking because of nervousness. And I was like, what? I'm not doing this. This is crazy. Anyway, I ended up singing the songs, and everyone really enjoyed it, and been an Elvis fan ever since.
Wow.
So it just started collecting Elvis items, cups. I have an Elvis room now, which I think you've seen, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
A lot of I would dare say about 85% of those things have all been gifted to me.
Wow. Oh,
so it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing.
That is amazing. When people recognize, someone with obvious talent and passion for something, I think they're really drawn towards it. Elvis obviously is an icon that many, many people were drawn to for decades.
Mm-hmm.
Just a very talented creator and artist, and the fact that he has an actual group of people who are willing to be a tribute to him, that's just ascribes to what he has been able to accomplish.
I don't know the exact numbers, but somebody said about a year ago that if the way it keeps going with all the Elvis tribute artists that are out there, that's going to be 1 in 5 every person. Someone's going to be an Elvis tribute artist by the time 2036 comes around. So,
I'm going to have to start getting in on the game then.
Now's the time. Now's the time, Ben. Now's the time. Grow out them sideburns and grow out that hair.
Yeah, no, I see. I would. I do have a military commitment once a month, and that is the only reason why I don't have a large beard.
Oh, okay.
I would probably look like a homeless person. If it weren't for...
You could reenact when Elvis went to the Army, got his haircut.
I could, indeed.
Every month you just reenact that moment.
Now, so I have a question about that. I'm not any historian on the subject at all. Elvis, his career in singing, did that start before he was in Vietnam, or did that happen after?
Well, he went to Germany for the Army.
Oh.
So...
Oh, okay.
But yes, he was very, very, very huge before he went to the Army. And Colonel Parker did so much to try to not get him to go. But, he was drafted.
Yeah.
And so he served his country well. And There's a great YouTube video if you ever get a chance to watch when Elvis returns from the army, and he carried his own backpack, and he wanted to be treated just like every other person that was there. He wanted to be treated no special, anything special. He wanted to be just like all of them, and it's a cool video, just the way Elvis looks and the way he talks, and I try to talk like him sometimes, but it's just the way he says the words, like, I don't know, man, just the way I was trying to do things. So
Yeah, he's very singular.
Yes.
It's a very distinct persona that he had. So, and it's so iconic that people are able to do it. So, so then, so when you were 14, that's a freshman in high school, or was that sophomore?
I was a freshman. I was a little slow.
Okay.
So
that's fine. That's perfectly.
I remember I didn't speak English at first, so that's my excuse. I'm sticking to it.
Hey, that works for me. I had to learn Spanish after high school, and that was much more difficult, I would imagine.
Yes. Well, the funny thing is, I went on a mission, and then I was able to learn my Spanish back because I had lost a lot of it.
Right.
Because in Georgia, they didn't really like us speaking Spanish.
Oh.
Back then, so in the late 80s, early 90s. So you can imagine the times have changed.
It's so weird to hear about things like that because it hasn't been my experience to ever have people act like that around me. Like if I heard someone say out loud, like, "This is America, speak English," I would probably laugh in their face. Like, what do you think this is? No, so I mean, I think that there are things that have changed and are changing that are beneficial. One of those would be obviously we have a very rich culture here in America.
Yes, and especially here in San Antonio, and and my folks, they were per se. I'm adopted. Some people that may not know that from Guatemala, and my parents were. They had an interracial marriage. My father was as white as can be. He's born in Memphis, Tennessee, where Elvis is from. And my mother is born in Eagle Pass, Chicamalia, which is by Mexico. Yeah. And they were, back then, interracial marriage was very, very frowned upon, or different looked at. And they were one of the few that did it. So a lot of changes. So
yeah, interesting. Glad everything has turned out well.
Yeah, it's worked out well. They live here in San Antonio. I've tried to get away from them, but they keep following me. No, they're good. They're good folks.
Well, they always say your parents are your biggest fans.
So. They're my very biggest fans and my first fans. Yes, they're still fans, and they're still letting me live my dream and seeing this, letting me try to live the success that it has been brought in so far. It's been great and still going strong.
Right. Now, when you were in high school, that was a very awkward time for me. I didn't quite know or have the confidence to wear anything, really. So
just walked around naked.
It was mostly like it was a different type of confidence in the buff.
Okay.
I was quickly arrested. No, no, that didn't. No, I even tell this to when I was teaching the youth in a few wards when I was in high school. I made it to my senior year, and I still had people think that I was new in the school.
Oh wow!
And wow. I was on the basketball team, and I never played in a game. And I was on the track team, and I actually never ran an event in track. So there were places where I was that could have been visible, but even in my senior year, my U.S. government teacher had me stand up like 4 months into the year, and he's like, "It looks like we have a new student in the class." I was like, "Oh," and I just went with it. I just stood up and said, "Hi, everyone. I'm Benj. I'm new here," and then I sat down.
That's funny.
So I guess my question is: at 14, were you? Was there any clubs or anything that you were into at that time, or was it just straight Elvis jumpsuit?
No. So I was in choir, and I was also in a group called the Madrigals, and the Madrigals consisted of, if I remember correctly, the top 15 singers in the school.
Wow.
So I went there to try out just for concert choir, because there was 3 different choirs. There was campus choir, concert choir, and madrigals. Campus choir was, you weren't really good, so you stayed on school. They didn't let you off the campus. So pretty much that's what they told me. And then concert choir was you got to leave campus and go do competitions and sing. And then the Madrigals were the elite students, so those we got to go to big competitions and actually get passes from their classes to about attendees.
Oh,
And
okay.
so I went and tried out for concert choir. Didn't even think of Madrigals in my head, and teacher calls me at night after I do my tryout. And I'm like, why is this? Well, actually, I wasn't even choir. He's like, why is this guy calling me at 7:30 at night?
Right.
And he's like, can you come to the office, my office, at 7 in the morning? I'm like, well, I guess that works. I have a seminary class at 6 a.m. I guess I'll be straight over there.
Yeah.
Because I used to go work out anyways when I was at school. I didn't go straight home.
Sure.
So he says, hey, I was wondering if you'd like to be in a group called the Madrigals. I heard about the group because my best friend had been trying to get in it for 4 years and never got in it. So I felt bad, and I told him, hey, guess what? I'm in concert choir, and I'm also in Madrigals. He was not too happy about that. Ricky, I still love you, man, if you're watching.
Unfriended in real life. No, I'm just kidding.
Ricky's a cool guy. He lives in Houston, Texas. Got 2 kids as well. So he and I keep contact. He actually said hi to me first time when I was in Corpus Christi when I was in 6th grade.
Oh, that's great.
But anyway, so jumping forward, got to do Madrigals and got to sing Carnegie Hall as well in New York City.
Wow.
Because of being in Madrigals. Yeah, we entered a competition.
Jeez.
And they picked, I think 8 schools out of the nation to perform in Carnegie Hall.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. And so we got picked as one of them. So it was a neat experience. Got to go for a full week to New York. Got to do a huge dinner boat cruise party. Got to eat pizza at 2 in the morning. You know, here I'm 14 years old. Here I am standing in Times Square.
This is the height of luxury.
Yes. And then we sang one song, but the song was a 20-minute song. It was in French. I don't remember the guy's name who directed it, but he was pretty well known back then.
Was he quite French?
From what I remember, but yeah, it was really a great experience. I mean, and then,
that's amazing.
My parents let me do that and stuff. Got to see Chicago, Fan of the Opera, and I believe, was it Rent or Cats? One of those two.
I don't think Rent came out until, well, it may have been before then, but I knew it got big in the mid 2000s.
So I saw 3 shows. I was up there. That was pretty cool. And then I got to meet. Got to a restaurant called the Birdcage. Which
I know about the Birdcage.
Yeah. Yes, not the Birdcage. Everyone may think it's a restaurant. They do a lot of jazz there, and the guy that was doing the jazz was actually the elephant in the Howdy Doody show.
No.
Back in the day, which was crazy. So I was like, wow, okay.
He howdy did it,
Mm-hmm.
and then he decided to do jazz music after that.
Yep, and that's where he's been. I don't know if he's still alive or not, but
Sure.
he might be a lot older now. So he was older when I saw him. So that's 20-something years ago.
Wow. So then, a crowd size of 400 to start out with as Elvis wouldn't. I mean, obviously you were nervous because it's just you on stage, but you had some experience singing in front of people in public.
Yes, but not as a solo. I would say if there was a mess up, we all messed up, or I could hide my voice with someone else's voice.
Right.
But singing solo, it's just you and the track, and when you do tracks, you have to stay on beat with the track. If not, they know that you're off.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a little bit different, So, I did that and did track mainly middle school. I didn't really do sports in high school. I just mainly worked out and sang.
Yeah.
So try to stay in shape. Helps the
Well,
voice.
you're going to have to if you're going to fit in all those jumpsuits.
Right? Yeah, little did I know, right? So here, yeah.
Well, that's amazing. So then, from the Deco Club experience, was it something that had branched out from there, or were you just the person who people knew, oh, he can do an Elvis act, we can call him for things?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I didn't really pursue the Elvis direction at that time. I was more of a fan. And I always tell people I'm first a fan before an Elvis tribute artist. And there's different ones out there. There's Elvis impersonators who kind of do the goofy Elvis or kind of make fun of it.
Right.
And then there are those that are fanatic fans, which are amazing to be around because they know so much history of Elvis, or they have so many memorabilia of Elvis. And then there are those Elvis tribute artists. So it's kind of, I fall in between the Elvis tribute artists and the being a fan.
And the fan.
Yeah, because I don't go around dressing like Elvis every day.
Right.
I don't have the jumpsuits on or the belts, or my hair actually looks like this naturally. It's natural. People think I dye it or it's a wig. Like, no, this is my real color hair. This is not a wig. Sideburns are real.
Yeah.
So this is just the way I
It just
look.
works.
It works.
It was a lucky genetic bond that you were able to form.
I think so. So we as Elvis tribute artists, we try our hardest, and I think what's his name? He used to have a TV show, Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
I think he said that all the Elvis impersonators back then, the name was, look like each other, but no one looks like Elvis.
Yeah.
So if you put me next to Elvis, unless I'm about a mile away, I think I look like him, but no. So we just do our best to pay tribute to him and his songs and his singing and stuff.
Yeah. Well, it is a whole other level of public and social anxiety that I'm sure that you experience. Do you still get the jitters before going on stage at all? Or
Every time. that doesn't go away. It doesn't go away because it's a new crowd. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
It's a new crowd. It's new people. Sure, you have some fans that follow you around, or that'll come by, or some family or good friends, but you don't know who you're gonna please or who's gonna be out there. And to give you an example, I did a show in shirts for the I believe the American Title Company, and so I did a show for them. It was an outdoor show. They had a little Mardi Gras kind of thing going on, and didn't really, and so they wanted Elvis. And I was a friend of a friend that wanted me there, so she hired me to do the job. And there was a group of people that were in the corner watching. They weren't really they were having a good time, but it wasn't like, oh wow, kind of excitement. And I figured you can't please everybody in this field. No, there's not everyone's an Elvis fan, or not everyone's gonna be like, oh wow, Anyway, so they came to talk to me afterwards. Hey, can you come talk to us after you're done putting your stuff away? I'm like, sure. I wonder what these guys, what they want. So
you bring your security with you,
right? So, and the guy, his name is Henry, and he said, hey, we actually really like the way you performed. I'm like, well, thank you. I was taken a little bit of a surprise. I wasn't sure how the reaction. They said you like the way you grasped people and got the attention, even though the kind of crowd it was, you still get people to sing along or dance or whatever. So he said, we'd like for you to see, would you be interested in singing for us in Albany? And so I thought they said,
wow,
Abilene, Texas.
Yeah, that's much more close.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, I've been to Abilene, Texas. No, he said, no, Albany, New York. I'm like, you want me to go way over there? And I've been other places, But he says, yeah. It says we're having a big giant fundraiser walk, and then we're doing a big old dinner convention for the family to help that's building Crazy Horse by Mount Rushmore.
Oh, yeah.
So the family that's gonna helps build the monument. They're gonna.
I just drove there this last summer.
Okay.
I know exactly what you're talking.
So you saw Crazy Horse?
No, so the sort of.
Okay.
We did Mount Rushmore.
Gotcha.
And then we were driving the long way back around, and it passes by Crazy Horse, so we saw kind of like the unfinished cliff face there.
Yes. So that's been being built since I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
And it's the only monument that's non-government funded. So the families refuse to take any money from the government, because once the government gets involved, they can want all these ties with it.
Yeah, the national monument, and even Mount Rushmore had just tons of rope to get through to get into there.
So now that family's actually going to be there. I'm actually going to be able to meet the grandkids now that are taking over from the grandfather who started this, and I'm going to be singing for them in New York. So they it's being an Elvis tribute artist, you never know who you're going to meet. They're paying for the flights, the hotels, they're paying for us to sing.
Yeah.
It's just going to be amazing. Jeremy and I are going to be flying up there on June 13th. The show is June 14th. So, and it's a dinner show. People be able to buy tickets as well, and the money's going to go towards helping building the Crazy Horse.
Yeah.
So, if I can find a picture when I was 12 years old, I believe I was 12 years old when I went, and I'm gonna have them sign it for me.
Oh yeah,
so
that'll be cool. That's that's amazing. Yeah, so you do never know who you are going to meet. Oh, we just happen to be the family that's building a giant cliff sculpture.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, you don't know. And so I've met so many people doing this, which is Jeremy, he's a good friend of mine. He does my light and sound for me, and I tell him my favorite part of all this is I get to meet a new town and new people, and that's the most exciting thing.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it helps you to branch out to other crowds, people
Yeah.
who are there, and even people who are thinking, "Oh, this isn't something that I would have thought of," but now that I've seen it, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely, I would love to have something like this.
Yeah.
So that's such a great opportunity. So when do you have that coming up?
So I leave. We fly out June 13th, and the show is on June 14th.
Oh man,
So
and that's it's local or it's open to the public who are in
it's
the
open to the
Albany area?
public. Anyone from anywhere can go to it if they want to. But if you're close to Albany, New York, get in contact with me and be able to get you guys some tickets. They're only going for about $500 a plate. Just kidding. No, not.
You better be serving me gold.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great dinner and a great show. Obviously, it's gonna be a good show. Hopefully, we're gonna do our best to do that for them. But
Yeah. So,
But-
oh yeah, no, sorry.
Yeah.
You're gonna say something.
but anyways, tying together with the jitters,
Yeah.
you don't know who you're gonna sing in front of. So yeah, I get more nervous because of that. But not the singing part. What now I'm more is that I want to be able to build. What can I do better for these shows? What can I add to it? Or because being an Elvis tribute artist, you're doing homage to Elvis, but you also put in your own little spice to it.
Right.
And so this is what I enjoy doing. And so I like that. Some people may not. Some people may want to be like, oh, I only want to see strictly Elvis.
I only want Elvis.
Yeah, but I do both.
Well,
you
he's
know?
not available. That's why they. That's why
That's
they
right.
have me.
That's right. So I think Elvis has been gone longer than I've been alive and being a tribute artist. So I think I said that right. Something like that. So.
Yeah, I think so. But it's still relevant. So then you have that coming up. I know that. On what we were talking about, getting the jitters, and you said that you never know what kind of crowd you're going to be in. I guess the question I have is, have you ever had a negative experience?
So I get some negativity, and it's just some things I have to learn to embrace. And even right now, I've been doing this now more professionally, I'd say about 5 years, which isn't really that long.
No, relatively short.
And I've come a long ways, and I've been really blessed. I'm going to be doing more competitions. I'm doing a competition for the Elvis Presley Oklahoma Expo,
Wow.
which is in
Okay.
August 24th, 25th, 26th. And the way that works is they pick, I believe there's going to be 20 Elvis tribute artists from around the world that get picked. So I'm one of them, the one's going to be doing it from the 20. And then from there, you see where you place. 2 years ago, I did it in Dallas, and I made the semifinals, my very first professional Elvis contest.
Wow.
So the fact I was going up against guys that have won the world, and I made the semifinals, I thought that's a pretty good win for me. I didn't expect to win or get first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, eighth, 10.
You're right.
But to make the semifinals, which is an honor, and I learned a lot. Doing that, and so the negativity that I do have though is that I don't really realize how short I am until I start standing next to people, and people don't really realize how short I am until they start standing next to me. So to give you an idea what it takes to be an Elvis tribute artist, so what happens? So when I'm Travis, I'm 5'5", which is pretty short.
Yeah. On average, that is shorter than
Yes,
an average American.
that's short. Yeah, exactly. And it's because I'm Guatemalan,
Right.
But once I put the shoes on, the lifts, everything, I'm 5'9".
Oh, wow.
And then the hair adds 2 inches, so I look like I'm 5'10", 5'11".
Hey, all right.
So I start creeping up there a little bit, But then I got everyone here in Texas. They're so tall and big,
Everything's bigger. In
Everyone's like 6 foot average around here, so it's like okay, and so that's a negativity. Like I thought he was taller. You always hear that on TV. I thought he was taller than that. Like, no, this is me.
This
So
is-
so it works if I'm on a platform on a stage. You can't really
Yeah.
tell the height. And then my other critique that I have, which I can't do anything about, makeup does help art. Because I'm Guatemalan and part Mayan Indian, I have slanted eyes. And so Elvis obviously had somewhat slanted eyes. He had somewhat Indian, but so there are those that are gonna really make fun of you because of like, oh, Elvis didn't look like this or Elvis didn't look that. I can't. I'm not trying to look 100% like Elvis. It's impossible.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to give the, I guess like what's the word? Give the imagination. Or the like, oh wow, this is what it would be like if Elvis was here.
So I think the word you're looking for is verisimilitude,
Mm-hmm.
which is a suspension of disbelief. And
Yes.
just allowing people to just for a moment, just pretend this is Elvis in front of me, and just to enjoy the experience of someone
Yeah.
who's. I mean, you're an artist whose craft is honed to give people the essence of Elvis.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, that's super important.
And if you look online, Elvis tribute artists, everyone has a great profile. I have a really good Elvis side profile. Once it turns forward to you, like whoa, But it's, side profiles are really good. And if you look at my pictures on Facebook or YouTube, you're like, oh wow, it looks really good. And that's what you want. I don't expect to be 100% him, and that'll never happen.
Sure.
But
Well, we would hope not. That would be like extensive, painful surgery.
and some do go through that, which is amazing. But I don't plan on going through,
Yeah, no.
under the knife kind of deal.
Sure.
Stuff.
And
So,
I don't think that it's necessary
No.
unless that is literally your
Yeah.
100%. That's the shtick you're going to
Yeah.
do for your rest of your life.
now what I may do though is dye my hair once I start getting grays coming in. But
Sure.
I'm embracing the black hair because I'd say more than half of these artists have wigs on, which I don't, thank goodness, for
Yeah.
now. But
Yeah.
nothing wrong with a wig.
There's nothing.
It's just easier to comb and easier to do things when it's your own hair.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, you just wake up every day and immediately just.
I mean, it does take work. I mean, talk a little bit about how long it takes to get ready. I mean, it takes about,
Oh, yeah.
so on average, about an hour and a half.
To get ready,
ready.
for a show.
Yes. So I wake up when I have so let's say I have a show. It doesn't matter what time it is. The better, if it's longer out from the day, it's a lot easier. I get up, I shower, I have to do my shampoo, and then I have to do my conditioner. Luckily, my wife, she's a cosmetologist, so she knows all the special soaps and
Right.
gels, hairsprays.
Balance the pH.
Exactly.
In your hair.
So it's called getting your hair dirty. And what that means is you get your hair super clean and you get it all nice and slick. And then you put in the chemicals, you put in the serum, you put in the mousse, you put in the hairspray, and you comb it. And then you get the roller brush, you put that in, because my hair is naturally curly.
Yeah.
So I have to get it straightened, or I do a Brazilian blowout, which makes your hair all straightened out and stuff. So you get that all nice and clean, and then you put all the product in it so it becomes dirty. Then you get a comb or a brush and you literally dry it out. You really comb it. Once it's all dried, you comb it all out because it gets all froey. And you leave it like that for the rest of the day. Then when you're going to get ready to go for showtime, you redo your hair again. You get the blow dryer, you get the roller, and it just looks amazing. It's all nicely poofed up, or it's nicely froed, or you comb whatever you need. That right there. And then after that, you do that, let that set, then you do your makeup. I fill in the sideburns a bit, my eyebrows. I do foundation. I do the baggy eyes, the eyeliner, the everything. It's a lot.
Yeah. As a parent, especially now, you always got to get rid of the baggy eyes.
Yes. So
They're there forever now. I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Mhm.
They're not going away.
and then once that's done again, you just comb your hair one last time. So it takes about an hour and a half to get ready. Then you put on the jumpsuit. Takes a couple minutes. That's easy. That's the easy part. And then you just choose the rings or the jewelry that you're going to wear for whatever jumpsuit you have on or outfit for that evening.
Yeah, and it depends also on what people are asking for. Some people would probably want like the bigger or the better experience, and some people might just want, just low down Elvis or
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I got a website. It's called TravisHudsonETA.com.
yeah.
And pretty soon people will be able to choose which jumpsuit they want and then which belt they want, and then which shoes they want. They can choose what they want for their show.
Excellent. We need if there's any programmers who are listening, we need an app for that. We're going to take several pictures of Travis, and then they'll just slide through, so they can just create a hodgepodge of Elvis.
I'll be wearing boxers looking like this, and then you just slide the jumpsuits over.
That's an upcoming feature on Travis Hudson ETA.
Different poses.
Different poses. Yeah, and I mean, obviously, you don't have to pay extra for the poses.
Yeah.
That would be ridiculous. Unless that's a feature. No, we won't add that.
No.
That won't be.
Yeah, but that'll be on the website, TravisHudsonETA.com.
We'll drop a link in the description of the video and the podcast as well. So. Oh, man. Okay, so upcoming projects. You have the Albany trip.
Yes, so I have that coming up. That's June 14th. The most current one coming is May 11th. Now, these are just public shows. I do a lot of private shows. I do from weddings, birthdays, quinceañeras, backyard parties, fundraisers, corporate events. I've done shows for Google. They flew down all their executives. And they rented out the entire Tower of the America downtown San Antonio.
Of course they did.
So of course, I mean they only need to rent the whole thing out. So
they're gonna own it soon enough, anyways.
Did a show for them. Done shows for the 100 Club of San Antonio, which is a nonprofit organization that helps with fallen either from EMS, fire department, police that were on duty, helps the families, which is really neat. I've done shows for Rackspace. I've done shows for D.R. Horton Home. I've done shows for I actually did a show for Mr. Hartman, who owns the oh my goodness, my mind just went blank. It's the ride for special need kids.
Oh yeah, they that's all over the place though, isn't it? That's
no, it's a like Six Flags, but it's not Six Flags. It's its own thing. I forgot what it's called right now. But Morgan's Wonderland. There it is.
Oh yes. Okay. Yeah.
So Morgan's Wonderland. Mr. Hartman owns that. I did a show for his mother, which is really neat. That was a couple years back, and so you get to meet a lot of artists, singers, local, famous ones as well. So I've met quite a pretty big time people, and then a lot of local artists out there as well, which is one of the cool things. But so May 11th is going to be at the My Bar and Grill, or My Lady Bar and Grill, or My Lady Bar and Lounge, which is technically it's in Green, Texas, which is right by New Braunfels. That show is actually free to the public.
Okay.
So anyone can go, but there's no reservations allowed. So it's going to be first come, first serve.
Yeah, standing room only.
Yeah, it's going to be in the back. It's going to be in their patio. It's going to be we checked out the weather. It's supposed to be really nice weather, about 72 degrees, 67 degrees at night. So it'll be really, really nice, especially for Texas.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I got that one. Then I have July 25th. That's going to be at the Silver Spoon, which is in New Braunfels, and it's a high-end restaurant. Overlooks their man-made lake where you can go water skiing, Texas Ski Ranch, TSR. And that one, it comes with a 3-course meal that people can go to. And that one's about, I think, $45 a ticket. But you get a 3-course meal and a show.
Right.
So that one's sold out as well. I got a Chewy show coming up, I believe, July 2nd here. I'm actually the main Elvis tribute artist for the Chewy's Mexican restaurant here in San Antonio. There's 4 locations, but they only have one show to do every year for Elvis's birthday, which is January 8th.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So that just happened.
Mm-hmm. So
okay,
got that coming up. I have shows. Let me stream here real quick. July. So we have June 29th. I'm going to be showing in Dry Prong, Louisiana. I'm doing a show there as well. Fly out the night before.
Oh,
what was that?
I don't know. There was a ghost.
Okay.
There's ghosts in our house. It's the ghost of Elvis. He's in here.
So, anyways, and then July 20th, I'll be in Louisiana as well for another show. I'm doing that too. July 13th, I'm doing a local private show here as well. Just so many shows. August, I have the competition. September, I will be. Let's see here. Looks like I'll be in Arkansas in September.
All over the place.
All over the place. I have a manager. Indiana. There it is. I'll be in Indiana, Fort Wayne, Indiana, on October 1st as well. So
Excellent. Now, is there a place also? Is this on your website where people can look and see where your upcoming events are?
yeah. So my website's kind of new. I'm still working on it because I have someone who directs it.
Sure.
But so she'll be able to put all the dates on there. But on Facebook, I'll have it as well. Martha, her last name is Travis, ironically. And I told her, well, we ever just do shows, we just call it the Martha Travis Show, and they'll just think that it's you and me together, but it's technically your name.
Right.
So, but she does my out of state shows.
Yeah.
And then she'll be working on doing some big shows here in Texas. But I do a lot of local shows too.
Well, I mean, it's obviously a fun thing for you to be able to do.
Mm-hmm.
It also is able to make some money on it. And what is it that the Joker said? If you're good at something, never do it for free.
Yes, if you're good at something, never do it for free.
Okay, so all of these shows, all this information will be available, and you'll be able to look it up there. Now, I guess one of the craziest things that I'd heard that you had mentioned before to me off podcast was that you were invited to do a Valentines Cruise.
Yes, so I'm doing a Valentines Cruise, and that's in the year 2020, and that's in February. That's
Okay.
going to be February, let's see, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. So February 9th through the 13th.
Wow.
I'm doing an Elvis Cruise, and people that book there, they'll be able to get 3 Elvis shows. I'm going to be doing a gospel section, a gospel show. It's a 2-hour gospel. And then I'll be doing kind of like a 60s movies for the next show. And then I'll also be doing the 70s jumpsuit show. The cool thing about this, though, is that, it's not just you're not going there just because it's to see my shows. You're going to be able to tour just like everybody else. And same thing for me. Once I'm done singing, I'm going to be touring just like being a tourist just like
Right.
everybody else. And, the cabins, they only, just to start off, they only start at $450 a person.
Oh,
which is actually
that's
pretty
super
cheap.
affordable. Yeah, I've been on a few cruises. So that's really nice.
A lot of them start at $700 and up, but this includes your taxes, your port fees, and your gratuity as well. And you get exclusive tickets to the Elvis shows, plus whatever else is going on in the boat. So.
Now, so question about that. This just came into my mind. So I've been on a couple of cruises, and I've seen the shows on there. So are you going to be rehearsing and choreographing with people on stage, or is it just going to be
just
you?
me?
Yeah. Okay. And is you had mentioned his name,
Jeremy.
Jeremy. He's coming with you, or
He may be coming. He just adopted his kids.
that's amazing.
Yeah, they were actually on Ken 5 News the other night. They just had their story shared in San Antonio, which is really neat. So we'll see if he does come, but if not, it'll just be me and a karaoke machine.
It's the same one that he bought when he was 14.
Yeah.
It has sentimental value
Yeah.
and surprisingly really good acoustics on it.
Mhm. Yeah, the thing about a cruise, which I learned now, is you have to bring your own sound equipment. It's got to fit in your room underneath the bed.
Really?
Yeah, so I've never been on a cruise. So my bucket list includes being on a cruise and to be able to sing on a cruise. Well, now I'm going to be completing both in one
Check.
shot. Yeah, so.
Yeah, what next?
Yeah.
I got that done.
Yeah, I know. Right? Might as well just close up shop after that. So. But yeah, so got that going on. Just finished doing the Flambeau parade in San Antonio, which was this past Saturday.
Yes.
And out of over 30 floats, we came in 3rd place.
And these floats, so anyone who isn't familiar with San Antonio tradition, Fiesta is a week-long, month-long?
It's a 2-week.
A 2-week tribute to our Mexican-American heritage. I don't know if that's true. I'm making that up.
Yeah, they have so many shows, singers, dances. I mean, and then they end it with the Flambeau, which is basically I think this year there was about over 700,000 people downtown, and about 1.5 million people watching it on TV.
Holy moly!
So it was a pretty big event.
And the floats, the 30 floats that were there, these were not all Elvis floats. So it's not like he's coming fourth place out of all of the Elvis floats that were there.
Third place.
Third place. Sorry. And the this is all of the local participants who they're, I'm assuming, pretty big names for themselves.
Oh yeah, big names, and I mean all the floats were amazing. I mean the lights, the decorations, the people. I mean, we went there to have a really good time, but to also place as well. That's a great honor.
Oh yeah, for sure. And was this your first time performing on a moving platform?
Yes, yes, it was, and first time actually doing Fiesta Parade too, because I don't mind the crowds, but it's getting down there. That's the craziness. But
oh yeah, you would have to go.
Yeah, they were kind enough to give me a spot, a reserved seat, a reserved parking, everything, and then to shuttle me to the bus, to the floats as well.
Yeah. Oh,
so, yeah, really kind people.
Now, so on the float itself, you had other people who were performing with you.
So I had some dancers on there. It was the Pride of San Antonio, and it was their float, and so they themed it. Jesse Perez, he's the one who created the entire float all by himself. The lights, the decorations, the painting. If you look on Facebook, the back of the float has actually my silhouette on it, which is really cool on there, and my name, Travis Hudson. But he spent the time to actually build it himself, and like the Pride of San Antonio, they asked me to be on the float for them, to represent them, and it was an honor. I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do this. And so it was the Elvis Float for San Antonio, Texas, which is, they've seen other Elvises out there, but they wanted to have me on there, which is a great honor.
Yeah. Well, it all turned out spectacular. I saw some of the videos and was super impressed. So the only thing I was thinking while I was watching was, I wonder if that's really hard to do, even though they're not moving, they're not flooring it, but just to stay upright.
Yeah. Well, not only that, and you got to watch your footing.
Yeah, there's a limited amount of space you have up there.
Yeah, and if you fall off, you get disqualified. So.
Oh,
you don't want to fall off. So.
Knowing that you took third place, we know that he did not fall off the float, which would have been a whole other level of embarrassment in front of 750 plus 1.5, 2.25 million.
A lot of people. I would have been a meme.
There would have been a Elvis meme immediately.
Yes.
That would, no, thank goodness, that's not the kind of tribute you want to leave.
No. That was fun, though. That was fun. So.
I know that on the cruise ship, it will be a whole other level of dealing with your footing on there, but at least you'll have more space to move around.
I hope so. I hope I don't get seasick.
Oh, man. So if you do, my wife, Robin, she gets super seasick. She takes Dramamine, which is... I think it's for car sickness, but it works also for her.
Okay, I'll need to keep that in mind.
Yeah, life hacks.
Okay.
They have patches that you can wear too that help with the motion sickness, and that could help as well.
I might need that because I can't read one sentence being a passenger in a car without getting car sick.
Oh yeah, it is subtly different. I don't ever get car sick. And I can do any number of activities. And I've only been seasick once, but it was because it was on a very small boat in very choppy waters. So,
well, it's gonna be fun. And like it's back to what you were saying with my folks being my favorite fans. They're my biggest fans. They're actually going to be going on the cruise too.
Oh, so. Celebrating Valentine's Day together.
Yeah, I mean they're really supportive. They're going to do it. My family's going to be on there. By then, I'll have two.
Yes.
Kids. So.
Do you mind if I ask what cruise line it's for?
It's gonna be Carnival.
Carnival.
The Dream Boat.
They have the best kids club.
Cool.
I have been on a few.
Okay.
And with kids, they have so many activities for the kids, and then we also we're super overprotective parents, so we. Like the first day when there were all these parents who were just taking their kids and just dropping them off and like saying bye, see you later. We're like, are you guys CPR trained and certified? And I guess everyone who works in the child care portion, they overdo it on their qualifications. Like every one of them needs to have either a bachelor's or a master's degree in like child health care and everything like that.
Oh, well, that gets some good.
Yes.
Rest of mine, right? Peace of mind, right?
Oh, so immediately we were like, oh, really? But can you do this?
There you go.
And when we would drop the kids off, and then we'd go do a couple of things for a couple of hours, which is, I mean, it's so nice to just be like, kids, I want you to have someone else entertain you for just 2 hours. We're going to go do this. We'll be back. We'll have the rest of the day together. And when we would go to pick them up, the kids were like, why are you here? We're having a great time, and you're ruining it.
Oh, good.
So, I mean, hopefully there's not some detachment issues that you have later where they don't want you to be their parents anymore.
Right. Just leave me on the boat, Dad.
Just it's going to work well for everyone. You're just going to live on the boat forever.
Yeah, every 6 months we'll come see you when you come to the port.
Well, that's the majority of people who work on the boat anyways. So
Yeah.
that's it's a life that you can use to.
Wow.
Well, no, I think that's amazing. So how did you connect with the person who was doing that?
So Martha, she's technically been kind of watching me on Facebook for the last 2 years and just kind of seeing me grow, and I always kind of keep contact with her and say hi and etc. And I've had a lot of people locally have asked if I have a manager and if I'd be interested in having some people manage me. And I've been really hesitant for the last about 2 years because it's a scary thing, because once you start getting somebody else involved, they take control, and it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing, but because they control the money. They're the ones that get paid, and they pay you. So right now I get paid. I know what's coming in. I get from the beginning to the end.
Right.
Now it's here's where you're at. This is where you're going to be. This is what time you need to fly in. Here's your plane tickets. Here's your taxi. It's kind of nice because they do everything for you.
Sure.
But
so I mean, that's a whole level of stress that they're just getting rid of.
yes, but it's stressful on them because they got to make ends meet, or they got to make sure tickets are selling or whatever.
Right.
So and then trust too, because I've worked hard to get my name, have a good image for my name, so that people be like, oh yeah, Travis, he's a pretty cool dude, or cool guy or whatever, and your name can get tarnished so fast.
Right.
And
yeah, we booked you for I booked you for all of the state penitentiaries. You're going to be singing Jailhouse Rock.
yes.
It could get tarnished real quick there.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, maybe I'll do a Johnny Cash tribute and now sing at Folsom Prison or something.
there you go.
So, but yeah, so so we finally decided, all right, you know what, let's do this. And so our tour starts in June, and we'll be going from here on out, doing all sorts of shows, and maybe a year from now we'll see where we're at. It might be finally doing this more of a full-time thing.
Right.
We'll see, but it's taken 5 years to get where we're at. My buddy Jeremy, we met at church as well, and I was like, hey, you want to be my sound and light guy? I can do Elvis.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's always good to have a man in the chair.
Yeah, he's like, sure, let's try it. So I met a guy in Austin named Victor Salamine, and he mentored me and gave me a lot of tips and advice and some jumpsuits that he personally made that were more inspired jumpsuits. And that's how I started. And a little side note, I was actually at 230 pounds when I started this Elvis career 5 years ago. Now I'm at, I've lost all that weight, which is, I'm at 172 now. So,
yeah.
They joke around. They say I started as the fat Elvis, and
You
now
were doing it backwards.
I was doing
You
it
did
backward.
you did a reverse Elvis.
Yeah, so I
And
said,
that's-
I don't know, So. But anyway, so now it's a lot different now, so it's fun.
Well, so just excited for your journey, for everything you're doing.
Thank you.
I'll go ahead again. I'll post the links to everything on everywhere where this will be posted and then where it's hosted. But thanks for coming in, man.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. So
Of course.
we'll see where the road takes us. So
Yes, when exciting things coming up for Elvis tribute artist Travis Hudson. So look on the horizon. He's coming soon to a city near you.
Thank you very much. Take care.